Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. My name is Tomasz and today we will continue the subjects from last week's video. So we will do a reverse pivot from the top, backward. Enjoy! As always, let's first start with footwork. Because we are still talking about the high pivots from two toes, of course the first step will be from a toe, and of course both heels will be up still at the same time. Then we will turn, lower, kiss the floor with the heel, and then drive forward from the heel because it will be a driving step. So let me demonstrate it sideways. We will start on two toes, on the left foot, we'll go with the right foot backward, we will still maintain being on two toes. Now, when I'm in 50-50 position, I will start turning on my right foot, and in the end of that turn, my heel will touch the floor. When that happens, I can start going forward and I will drive forward from the heel. Now, let's go to the feet alignment. In the backward pivot, we will have slightly different feet alignment than in forward one. In forward pivot, the first step was done in CBMP and then we went backward on two tracks. In the backward pivot, both step forward and backward will be on two tracks. So let me demonstrate. Again, I will start on two toes. I will be on the left foot. I will go and curve my first step and place it exactly behind my hip. So now my right foot is exactly behind my hip. From here, I will turn on the foot, lower, and I will place my left foot again on two tracks in front of my left hip. Now, of course, I can curve that first step. So if I decide to curve that step, I still have to place my left foot in front of my left hip. So I shouldn't cross in the first step. The next thing is the body rotation. As in forward pivot, the body rotation will be quite similar. The only difference is that we will be turning the foot before the pivot slightly more in to indicate the pivot and make it a little easier. But first, let's start with the body rotation. We will start with the body slightly underturned, so the body turned to the right. Now, when I turn and curve my first step, I will turn my body and curve the hip and turn my right toe slightly in. So in that moment, my shoulders are the same turned as my hips, but my right toe is slightly more turned than my hips and my shoulders. From this moment, I will turn on my right foot, but keep my body underturned so I can still turn something on my driving step. So I will do it now. And now when my foot is in correct position, which should be almost line of dance, I can still turn my body to create a very nice CBM action. Let's do it again sideways. So again, I will start on two toes with my body slightly underturned. In the first half a step, I will curve my hip, my body, and I will slightly turn my right foot in. From here, I will continue turning on my foot and keep my body underturned in the end of the pivot. And now I can enjoy the turn during the CBM action on the driving step forward. The next thing is the lowering. Again, it will be very similar as in forward action, which means that we cannot lower anything during the first half of step when we get to the pivot. And then we have to lower to our maximum during the pivot, so we don't have to lower on the driving step. So let me demonstrate. So I will start on two toes and I will maintain the same level until the middle of the first step. From that moment, when my right foot is placed, I will start pivoting, and that's the moment when I really relax my knee. But make sure that your right heel is still not on the floor. It can only arrive and kiss the floor with when the turn is complete and when the lowering is done. Now when I achieved my maximum lowering, I finish in the correct direction, I can continue going across in my driving step forward. The next very important thing is our poise. Now, as easy as it sounds, it's crucial in the reverse pivots, especially backward, to maintain our poise left. It's super easy during the pivot to lose our body alignment and fade to the right. And now I know you might think it's a sway, which might or might not be a good thing in the pivot, but we are talking about whether my spine is going to the left side, it's neutral in the middle, or it's poising to the right. Now we want to avoid poising to the right at all cost. It will put extra weight on our partner and change the centrifugal force that will help us go around each other. So especially during that pivot, so after the placing the right foot, that's when we have to keep the poise left. And that's whether you're a leader or follower. I know for leaders it's very easy to think that we are exactly straight, but we are not. We are also poising left. And during that pivot, it's super important to stay and keep the poise left, and now turn and drive forward. The last thing we will mention is our head and how to change it. In the backward pivot, especially for the followers, it is possible to change the head. And that relates to changing of the sway, especially after a figure like a tumble turn. So what we want to do is we want to either start left and keep it left, or start left and turn it right to the pivot. I think the first option is quite clear, so let me just demonstrate it fully. Again, I will keep my head left, and through the whole pivot, I will maintain my head left, and through the driving step, I will again have my head left. Or I can keep my head left until the middle of the first step. Now during the pivot, change my head to the right and drive forward with the head to the right. Now please remember that during the head change, you cannot change your poise. So again, it's very easy to finish after pivot with the head right and poise right. And what we have to do is we have to finish with still our hips parallel to the floor, still with slight poise to the left, even though our sway can be to the right. The very good test is to lift the left foot after you've done the pivot and check if your hips are parallel. If one of the hips is higher than the other, there is a very good chance that you are not in the correct alignment. Okay, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. As always, if you liked it, please hit the like button and share it with your friends. They might use the advice as well. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.